Good morning, folks, from the biggest lunatic asylum in Europe. It's called Ireland. The Irish Times is always good for a laugh before breakfast. Just after reading an article, it took three intrepid journalists to write it, and it gives us a great update on the status quo with regard to the international protection chancers. I shall describe it as hotels, motels, and flotels for chancers. Cork and Dublin to expect a couple of cruise liners berthed in the ports and full of international chancers in the next 6 months as soon as Mr. Roderick does a deal with them with regard to higher prices. Um, Otherwise, you have down in Galway, we have 4 to 500, or is it 600 international chancers coming and being housed in a repurposed warehouse in Ballybrit, just a few kilometres outside Galway city. There they will reside apparently four to a cubicle or a room. That's a bit harsh now, Roderick. You were already condemned by the NGOs for putting four of these international chancers into one room. Often they are not compatible with each other, and there could be trouble, and there has been trouble. Anyway, these people in Ballybrit will be able to break the monotony by wandering into Galway City, which is now a bustling tourist town, a big shortage of accommodation there too. The councillors are trying to wipe out Airbnb people, old age pensioners who make a few quid extra renting out a room in their house. Such is the shortage of hotel accommodation for the international tourists coming from America mostly and all over Europe. So there's a big problems in Galway with accommodation for everybody and not just the chancellors. So they were asked, Leo was asked how long they expect the people to be there. So he said he wasn't sure. Uh, as usual, the process of checking out the chancellors can take a couple of years, and it's unlikely to be sped up, regardless of Leo saying so, because the NGOs will demand that they receive the full support of the law and all appeals before they are rejected. I mean, emotionally rejected, because Leo said that many of those who will not qualify as international protection refugees will be allowed to stay on humanitarian grounds. And we also know from the papers and everywhere that not a single sinner has been thrown out of the country in recent years, actually removed from the state. So there will be an awful lot of young, single, testosterone charged um, Muslims in Ballybrit sharing a small room. And we just hope everything goes well as they wander into Galway City and gape at all the tourists wandering the streets and occupying the bars and the restaurants there, because Galway is now a very busy, bustling tourist city. So, yes, there will be many prayers sent up to Mohammed in the few mosques are in Galway, praying desperately for a full amnesty for everybody. But even an amnesty isn't going to help much. I imagine if they wait in their cubicles for 7 to 10 years, the government may catch up on its building of social housing and give them all a nice little house in which to live in forever and ever. So good luck, folks, for from the loony bin, and enjoy the article in the Irish Times if you get to read it. Cheers.